Hi again, this is Jamie. I just decided to make a kind of a second video of my bigger shelf. This is a bit of a mixture of manga and collected editions, so it's not going to be very long. One of the reasons I have kind of this small shelf is I didn't really collect manga or collected editions for a while, but I've always kind of had these, and this is kind of my favorite shelf, or it's got some of my favorites. I mean, at the top, I've got the Bleach box set. In honesty, I only have the first one. I only ever watched Bleach back in the day when they did fan subs. Remember when they'd come out in Japan, people would translate them and you'd upload them via BitTorrent. So I've watched basically the first arc. I think once I made it to the Bound arc, was not a huge fan and kind of left it. But I decided to get the box set and read the manga. 2 and 3 are they're kind of always out of stock. So I think once they come back in and there's a sale, I'll finish it up. And right here, in my opinion, it's my favorite manga series. It's Blackjack by Tezuka. It's basically about a rogue doctor. He's injured as a child and is patched up, and he decides himself to become a doctor. But because of kind of the bureaucracy of Japan becoming a doctor, he's unlicensed. Blackjack's extremely skilled, and he charges super high fees for. His rates are kind of what people can pay. If he has compassion towards somebody, he won't really charge them too much, or he'll make a deal. They can be pretty dark at times, but it's such a unique thing because Tezuka himself was pretty much a trained doctor. Then he decided to do manga, so he has a really great perspective on he kind of makes fun of the field and the bureaucracy that went on in Japan during that era, but some of the stories are dark. They're really well done. I can understand why this is such a beloved series in Japan. I was lucky enough. I was reading these. I borrowed them from the library, and then I was lucky enough to read them while they were coming out. I think I only got into it. I think by the time volume 16 or 17 was just being published. Great series. Highly recommend it. It's out of print. Hopefully, either Vertical gets it back in print or even buying it digitally it's really worth it. The nice part too is the volumes. So after volume 1, you can kind of read them in any order. Down here, Dragon Ball. I've had this for a long time. Behind it's this is kind of a thick shelf, so behind it is actually Dragon Ball Z. I've got Super there. I haven't read all of Super, only up to 3. I was watching I love Dragon Ball. I don't really have to go into too much of a description. I never really watched it because I found it really drags on as an anime. I mean, even tried watching Super, and Super, it's like watching a soap opera. So reading it's really where it's at. I know Toriyama's not really drawing Super, but he's still kind of giving the outlines of it, and the art's still quite great. This is definitely one of my favorite series ever. And then down here, it's not really manga. It's kind of the end of my collected editions. Usagi Yojimbo. This is the complete Dark Horse run in hardcovers. I was really happy they re-released one because it was really hard to find. But Usagi, it's kind of like a manga that's not a manga. It's done by Stan Sakai. It's been going on since the 80s. I only really knew Usagi from the TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, and I always had his action figure. But it really wasn't until I joined the Omnibus group that I realized how great the series was. It was always recommended. So I decided to buy the first set, the Fantagraphics one, and then I went on from there. I absolutely love it. I buy this thing. I have it on my subs at my local comic store. It's a great series. I kind of like it. The Dark Horse is getting the rights back. Not that I dislike the IDW stuff at all. It's just I'm hoping that they'll kind of continue the series in this format too. It's a great series. Probably my favorite thing that I've discovered, non-manga thing that I've discovered in the last 5 years. And down below, there's not really too much else. I kind of have those are just kind of books, Sherlock Holmes, Lord of the Rings. There's some DS and 3DS series that I have. As you can see, a lot of Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy. There's even some old Game Boy Advance boxes too of some classic NES games. And Advance Wars, great series. Happy that that's coming out on the Switch, but not really happy about the price. I mean, $80. For a game that probably should be about 30 or 40 because it's a remake. And kind of bypass the midsection. And down here is just that Usagi hardcover, the Fantagraphics one. Princess Mononoke, that's a children's book. It's somewhat like the movie. And of course, Calvin and Hobbes. Oh, and there's also a map of Disneyland. I have my original soft covers there, even with the tabs from when I did a speech on it in grade 8. Still in there. And then just a hardcover of Calvin. Great series. It was really sad when it ended, and I kind of stopped reading comic strips once it left. Oh, well, one other thing too, I also have the complete Peanuts works, but they're kind of hidden. Anyway, that's it for this video. That's pretty much most of my collection. I'll probably do my main manga one some other time once I've read more. All right, have a great one, guys. Bye.